Hey everyone! Welcome back to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Brain.
And I'm your co-host, Anna. We're so happy to have you here with us today, whether you're listening while commuting, relaxing at home, or even studying.
That's right. Today's episode is packed with value because we're diving into something super powerful, 18 advanced English expressions that can really boost your fluency.
Exactly. These are expressions that native speakers use all the time. And if you want to sound natural, confident, and fluent, this episode is for you.
Now, we know that learning new expressions can feel overwhelming sometimes. But don't worry, we'll break everything down for you. You'll learn the meaning, when to use each expression, and even hear us use them in real conversations.
And the best part? You don't have to memorize them all at once. Just listen, enjoy, and try using one or two in your daily conversations. Even small steps can make a big difference in your speaking skills.
That's true. By the end of this episode, you'll have 18 new tools in your English toolbox. And trust me, these expressions will help you sound way more natural.
So grab a notebook or just relax and listen. Let's start speaking English more fluently together.
Let's jump right in. First, let's talk about what we really mean by advanced expressions and why they matter so much. All right, Anna, before we get into all those awesome expressions, let's take a moment to talk about what exactly we mean by advanced expressions. What makes an expression advanced anyway?
Great question, Brain. Well, I think advanced expressions are phrases or idioms that go beyond basic vocabulary. They're often figurative, which means the words don't always mean what they say, literally. That can make them tricky for learners.
Exactly. Like when someone says hit the ground running, they don't mean you're actually running on the ground. It means you start something with a lot of energy and focus. These kinds of expressions really add color and personality to your English.
Right, and they're also very common in everyday conversations, in movies, TV shows, and even in business English. So if you don't know them, you might miss a lot of meaning or sound a little robotic or too formal.
Yeah, I've noticed that. When I first started learning English, I focused mostly on grammar and basic words. But once I learned these expressions, my English started to sound much more natural.
Same here. Plus, using advanced expressions shows that you're comfortable with the language and understand its culture. It's like a secret code that native speakers use.
That's a good way to put it, a secret code. But don't worry, listeners, these expressions aren't impossible to learn. They just take practice, and that's why we're here to help.
Exactly. And today, we'll not only explain each expression, but also give examples of how to use them naturally. That way, you can start adding them to your conversations right away.
So before we dive into the first 6 expressions, here's a quick tip. Listen for these phrases when you watch English movies or talk with native speakers. The more you hear them, the easier they get.
Great advice. All right, brain ready to get started with the first expression?
Absolutely. Let's do this. All right, Anna, let's kick things off with the first 6 advanced expressions. Ready?
Ready as ever, let's get started.
Our first expression is to hit the ground running. It means to start something with a lot of energy and immediately be productive.
Yeah, like when you start a new job and you're already working hard on your first day.
Exactly. For example, you could say, on my first day at the company, I hit the ground running and finished the project ahead of schedule.
I love that one. It's perfect for showing you're proactive. Next up is in the loop. This means you're kept informed about what's happening.
Right? Like in a team meeting, if someone says, make sure to keep me in the loop about the project, it means they want to be updated.
Or you could say I wasn't in the loop about the changes, so I was confused.
Expression number 3 is a game changer. This means something that completely changes a situation for the better.
Like a new technology or idea that improves everything.
For example, the new app was a game changer for how we manage our work.
Okay, number 4, bite the bullet. This means to face a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage.
Yeah, like when you don't want to do something, but you just have to do it anyway.
For example, I didn't want to study for the exam, but I bit the bullet and did it.
Number 5, back to the drawing board. This means to start over because your previous plan didn't work.
Right, like when a project fails and you have to come up with a new plan.
You might say the design didn't work, so it's back to the drawing board.
Last, for this batch to be on the same page. It means to agree or understand each other clearly.
Important for teamwork. Like before we start, let's make sure we're on the same page.
Exactly. Or we weren't on the same page about the deadline, so there was confusion.
Okay, Anna, I think these 6 expressions are really useful for everyday conversations.
Definitely. And listeners, don't worry if you can't remember them all right now. Try picking 1 or 2 to use this week.
Yes. And to help you remember, here's a quick practice tip. Try making your own sentences with each expression. It helps lock them in your memory.
Great idea, Brain. All right, ready for a quick recap? All right, everyone. We've just covered the first 6 advanced expressions, and that was a great start.
Absolutely. Let's quickly remind you of those expressions again. To hit the ground running, in the loop, a game changer, bite the bullet back to the drawing board, and to be on the same page.
Which one was your favorite so far? For me, it's bite the bullet. It's such a useful phrase when you need a little extra courage.
I really like a game changer. It's perfect to describe something that totally improves a situation.
Here's a quick tip for you. Try to say one of these expressions out loud right now. It can be a simple sentence or even just repeating the phrase to get comfortable with it.
And don't forget to listen for these phrases when you watch movies, TV shows, or even YouTube videos in English. The more you hear them, the easier it is to remember and use them naturally.
All right, take a quick breath, get ready, because we're about to jump into the next 6 expressions. They're just as exciting. Tick with us, your English is about to get a big boost.
All right, Anna, time for round 2. Let's explore expressions 7 through 12. Ready?
Always ready, let's jump in.
Number 7 is cut to the chase. This means to skip the small talk and get straight to the important part.
Exactly, like when you want someone to stop explaining and tell you the main point.
For example, we don't have much time, so let's cut to the chase.
I use this a lot when meetings drag on too long. Number 8 is a bit sneaky, throw someone under the bus. It means to blame or sacrifice someone else to save yourself.
Yeah, like when someone shifts the blame to a teammate to avoid trouble.
For example, he threw me under the bus during the presentation. Not very nice?
Number 9 on thin ice. This means you're in a risky or dangerous situation, usually because you did something wrong.
Like when you're close to getting in trouble.
For example, after arriving late 3 times, I was on thin ice with my boss.
Number 10 is by the book. It means to do something exactly according to the rules.
Right. Some people always do things by the book to avoid mistakes.
For example, she always follows the company policies by the book.
Expression 11. Go the extra mile. It means to do more than is expected to help someone or achieve something.
Like when you put in extra effort.
For example, our team always goes the extra mile to satisfy customers.
Last, for this batch, think outside the box. This means to think creatively or differently.
It's a favorite in business and creative work.
For example, we need to think outside the box to solve this problem.
Anna, these 6 are really common and super useful. Any favorites?
I like go the extra mile. It sounds positive and shows you care.
I'm a fan of cut to the chase. Saves so much time.
Listeners, again, pick 1 or 2 expressions from this list to practice this week.
And remember, the more you use them, the more natural they'll feel.
All right, take a deep breath, because after the next short break, we'll jump into the final 6 expressions.
Stick around. There's still plenty of great stuff coming your way.
Brain, quick question. Which of the expressions we've talked about so far do you think you'll actually use in your daily life?
I'd say Go the extra mile. It's a great way to encourage people, and it sounds really positive.
Good choice. For me, it's think outside the box. I like how creative it sounds.
Yeah, those two are definitely winners. Now, listeners, here's a little practice tip for you. Try writing a short story or a few sentences using at least 2 expressions from today's episode.
That's a great idea. You don't have to write a novel, just a few sentences will do. The important part is to use the expressions naturally.
And if you're feeling brave, say your sentences out loud or practice with a friend. Speaking helps you remember better than just reading or listening.
Exactly, remember practice makes perfect.
All right, take a few minutes after this episode to do that. It'll make a big difference in your fluency.
Ready for the final 6 expressions? Let's finish strong.
All right, Anna, we've reached the final stretch. Let's explore expressions 13 through 18.
Let's make these last ones count. Here we go.
Expression 13 is burn the midnight oil. It means to work late into the night.
Exactly, like when you have to study or work very late.
For example, I had to burn the midnight oil to finish my report on time.
Number 14 is hit the nail on the head. It means to say something exactly right.
Yeah, when someone understands or describes a situation perfectly.
For example, you hit the nail on the head with your explanation.
Expression 15 is a bit informal kick the bucket. It means to die.
Right, it's a polite or humorous way to talk about death.
For example, unfortunately, the old car finally kicked the bucket. Or, he's been sick for a long time, but thankfully, he hasn't kicked the bucket yet.
Number 16 is let the cat out of the bag. It means to reveal a secret accidentally.
Yeah, like when someone tells something they shouldn't have.
For example, I let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party.
Expression 17 is miss the boat. It means to miss an opportunity.
Like when you don't act fast enough and lose a chance.
For example, I missed the boat on buying those concert tickets they sold out.
Last but not least, under the weather. It means feeling sick or unwell.
Perfect for casual conversations when you're not feeling great.
For example, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I'm staying home.
Wow, Anna, that was a powerful last set of expressions. These are really useful in everyday conversations.
Definitely. And some of them are fun too, like kick the bucket. It's informal but widely understood.
Listeners, remember the key is to practice. Try using these expressions naturally in your speaking and writing.
And don't forget to review all 18 expressions regularly. That's how fluency grows.
All right, Anna, that wraps up our 18 advanced expressions for today.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it and found it useful.
Before we finish, don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with friends who want to improve their English.
And leave a comment below to tell us which expression you liked the most.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep practicing and keep speaking English fluently.
Bye, everyone.
All right, everyone, let's do a quick review of all 18 advanced expressions we covered today.
Here we go from the beginning. 1. To hit the ground running. 2. In the loop. 3. A game changer. 4. Bite the bullet. 5. Back to the drawing board. 6. To be on the same page.
And then, expressions 7 to 12. 7. Cut to the chase. 8. Throw someone under the bus. 9. On thin ice. 10. By the book. 11. Go the extra mile. 12. Think outside the box.
Last but not least, 13 to 18. 13. Burn the midnight oil. 14. Hit the nail on the head. 15. Kick the bucket. 16. Let the cat out of the bag. 17. Miss the boat. 18. Under the weather.
Phew! That's a lot of great expressions. Remember, the best way to learn them is to use them often.
Try to use at least one expression a day in your conversations or writing.
And listen out for these phrases when you watch movies or listen to podcasts in English.
The more you hear them, the easier it will be to remember and use them naturally.
Thanks for learning with us today. Keep practicing, and you'll sound more fluent in no time.
See you next time on the English Learning Podcast.
Well, Anna, that was an amazing session. We covered 18 advanced expressions that will definitely help our listeners sound more fluent and natural in English.
Absolutely, Brain! I hope everyone found these expressions useful and that you're excited to start using them in your daily conversations.
Remember, fluency doesn't come overnight. It takes practice, patience, and a little bit of courage to try new things. So don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Right. Every mistake is a step forward, and the more you practice, the better you get. Try to use these expressions in your next chat, your writing, or even when you're thinking in English.
Also, if you found today's episode helpful, please do us a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this podcast with your friends who are learning English.
We'd love to hear from you too. Leave a comment below and tell us which expression you're going to use first, or if you have any questions.
And don't forget to follow us on social media for more tips and updates. We'll keep bringing you great content to help you improve your English step by step.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. It's been fun, and we can't wait to see you in the next episode.
Until then, keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, you're capable of speaking English